and the power of J Skull.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode 11 in fact of the Power of J Skull.
Have we really done 11 of these things so far?
Yeah, this is the 11th episode already.
Wow.
I'm of course is your host Peasant Jason, and with me clearly here on the right is Drunk on Magic Water Jason. How are you, sir?
I can stop anytime I want to. Can I also say I've never identified with a He-Man villain as much as I did Kothos. It's like he's just he just laying around, just like, go do all my work for me. I'm just like, I like this guy.
This guy, if anything, he's efficient in his villainy.
Yes, like, he is.
He knows how not to waste time. Certainly Skeletor could learn a thing or two from him.
Certainly.
But this is a pretty good double episode. Today, obviously, we're talking, if you haven't seen by the title already, we're talking about one of my favorites, and that is Evil-Lyn.
Yes.
And two episodes that we are talking about is The Witch and the Warrior, and, of course, The Price of Deceit. So, again, they're kind of dealing with Lyn as a character, but they're very different in the way.
Very different.
Very different.
One effective, the other one not so much.
One of them kind of borderlining on problematic.
I would agree, but you could also argue that the relationship between Skeletor and Evil-Lyn has always been problematic. And we'll talk about that some more here in just a moment, I suppose.
Yeah, in just a moment. And we probably should get stuck straight into, as we always do, we tend to go with the Filmation episode first.
Yes, the classic goes first.
Yeah, and as your overall thoughts, Jason, on this episode, just as a whole thing.
Oh, my thoughts.
Yeah, your thoughts.
I thought you were going to finish your sentence. I'm sorry. My thoughts is, quite honestly, this is probably one of my favorite episodes of Masters of the Universe, the Filmation era. I enjoyed it. It fleshed out some characters. It was very surprising in many ways. At the same time, it was comfortably familiar. And can we just give it up to Linda Gary, who voiced Teela and Evil-Lyn in this episode? It was basically one woman arguing with herself for almost 20 minutes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Linda Gary voices Teela and Evil-Lyn.
Her voice range was good enough that I didn't even clue onto it as well. No. So she's very good at giving herself very distinctive voices.
She really is. She was one of the underappreciated VIPs of Masters of the Universe. And I, with all respect to John Irwin, who voiced He-Man, every time he voiced another character, you were like, that's He-Man. That's He-Man, but he's whispering. That's He-Man, but it's deeper.
Who was that
Gary
the other week?
Does it, and it's like, wait, she was two different characters arguing with herself? That's amazing. She's the Jeffrey Combs of He-Man.
Wow, there you go. Yes. There's a reference. Who was he playing in that globe? What was he?
Was the Oracle.
The Oracle. Like, who just is like,
wow, look, it's the Oracle. Yes, I'm the Oracle. You're the Oracle. Yes, I'm the Oracle. It's the Oracle, Teela. Yes, it's the Oracle.
If you were listening to that scene, you couldn't tell. You really couldn't. But yeah, great job. Yep. Now, this one here has got a pretty good plot. I'll just read out the plot for you now. It's an attempt by Skeletor to steal the Fountain of Life, because apparently there are so many things in Eternia that will give him ultimate power.
They should just call it Planet MacGuffin.
Yeah, exactly. To steal the Fountain of Life of Adrian from the evil willers Kothos. Is it Kothos?
Kothos,
yeah. Results in Evil-Lyn and Teela being stranded alone in the middle of the desert. The two arch nemesis have no choice but to work together to get back to safety, as well as stopping Kothos.
Yeah.
Clawful also appears.
And Clawful is there.
That's the synopsis. Clawful also appears.
And Clawful. Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, and Clawful.
Yeah. So,
oh my goodness, that's that.
And in a way, that synopsis does sum up Clawful's kind of role here, because his role was basically just to distract He-Man in this episode.
There to get his butt kicked, and that's it.
Yeah. How about this really average-looking No design wise could you tell he was a wizard, but he's a wizard, a young wizard.
It's like a Ken doll.
Yeah. Like I'm like, you're a wizard. You don't have a cloak or nothing.
Wait, I'm only a background character. What am I doing here?
But he shouts out and he asks for. He goes basically, I can't handle this myself. I need Teela and He-Man.
Notice how Teela gets top billing here. Yes.
Yeah, and of course Teela goes, "Hey, Dad, can you call him?" Like he must see her walking away and going, "How stupid is Teela at sometimes? How could a woman who be such an amazing warrior and so smart not figure this one out?"
Well, in Teela's defense, everyone in Eternia is a moron when it comes to Adam's secret identity. I don't know if you caught it, but He-Man transforms Cringer into Battle Cat right in front of that Eternian Ken doll.
Yeah.
Right in front of him.
Response.
And he didn't even respond. His response is, wow, that little cowardly cat that belongs to Prince Adam is also Battle Cat. I wonder if Adam knows.
But, they mentioned in synopsis about Skeletor going, I want the Fountain of Life. And he's talking to Clawful and Teela about, look, here's my plan. You're going to go there first and you're going to steal the fountain for me. And there's this great little moment, which I just out loud laugh at. And it's Teela and Clawful, and Teela's basically, Evil-Lyn, keep calling Teela. Evil-Lyn was with Clawful, and Evil-Lyn goes, well, what's going to stop us from taking it ourselves? And Skeletor just stands up, shoots a beam of laser through a wall and goes, that's what'll stop you. And
I love that sense of humor. I'm sorry. You can tell.
A hole in the wall and goes, that's it.
You can almost tell the genesis of Paul Dini's Joker in this episode, which is ironic considering that Mark Hamill, who voiced the Joker, went on to voice Skeletor later on and was nominated for an Emmy, by the way. We just learned a few days ago. So good on you, Mr. Hamill. But yeah, it's this episode's just got so much great humor in it.
It has
between Skeletor, doing his thing, Clawful getting his butt kicked continually, the general pettiness and frenemy relationship between Evil-Lyn and Teela. Teela is so delightfully snarky in this episode.
She's got some one-liners. Like she says something about, don't worry, Teela, I've studied every beast on this world. And Teela comes back with a smackdown going like, yeah, well, it takes one to know one.
Yes.
I'm like, harsh, man. You good guys can be really savage with your words. Hey, you may not beat a lot of people up, but gee, He-Man does it all the time.
Yeah. I may not be able to hit you with my fist because of the FCC, but I will darn well lash you with my tongue.
I will make you feel insecure as much as possible.
I really like that part whenever Evil-Lyn's complaining about not having any water, and Teela takes out her sword, and Evil-Lyn's like, "Oh my God, no! Don't kill me! I'm sorry.
Don't kill me, please! Don't kill me!" I did think that was good too. I mean, not really necessary, but this is where I think the writers.
It was a great character moment because Evil-Lyn was at her most vulnerable. She had no magic. She had nothing to take care of herself.
That's true.
And somebody I've been fighting with for all my life whips out a sword. I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to hell. Bye.
Hey,
excuse me. I'm going to Subternia. Bye.
Yeah. Another little funny, I think, adult gag. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just my perverted mind, but the way this guy got destroyed, I'm sure the writers had a bit of a snicker. Because he's basically, he gets killed by, pardon the French, a blowjob.
Yes.
Fatherly bad jokes, but I think the writers have
you
a bit
definitely
of fun.
have a perverted mind because this is a children's
he
show.
Was a villain.
Jason.
It's just a kid's
children's show.
Children's show, absolutely. I will say though, as a villain, as a monster, a good idea for a monster that probably wasn't played out longer because that should have been played out longer because he's an interesting foe for He-Man.
Are we talking about the sand monster?
Yeah, the sand monster couldn't punch him.
Yeah, it was actually a reused monster, by the way.
Okay, from what?
Yes. He was used in, I'm looking at my behind the scenes notes here. Of course, now I can't find them. The Sand Demon was previously seen in Temple of the Sun and also appeared in The Rockman and as the Rockman in Quest for the Sword, as well as several identical Rockmen in Into the Abyss.
Wow. Well,
So that was all
this is
recycled animation.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a good concept, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice looking monster. Yeah.
You know, where He-Man's all about strength and punching.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's
you
not
take
allowed
that
to
out of
punch,
the
so you got to
way.
give him a monster to punch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because when he does grab people, especially like Clawful, what does he do? He wraps him up like a carpet roll and then throws him into space.
Yes. And of
Literally
course you get
into
that
space.
you get that hilarious scene on Snake Mountain, like, I haven't heard from Evil-Lyn and Clawful. I wonder how they're doing. Smash. Crap.
Yeah. Well, she had her own agenda through this whole episode. Hey,
Yes.
Evil-Lyn. She was basically trying to get Clawful just to be a distraction so she could get on with the
And
job.
Clawful did a fairly adequate job, just as I said, just getting his scaly little butt kicked during the entire episode, being a pest.
Yeah.
I
mean, really, he didn't really like. You would have thought, well, you know, he's got claws. Let's try to put them. The only time it was good when he clawed He-Man's foot. Remember, was going to drag him down.
Looks nothing like the action figure, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's far more cartoonish. His head mold in that.
Yes, which I kind of enjoy the Filmation version of Clawful.
Yeah,
because there's I don't know, there's more personality to him.
Was there a figure ever designed for our big bad Clothos?
If they did, I would imagine it would have been one of the classics, and it's probably like $5,000 by now.
Probably.
Because come on,
now,
I sent you the picture of Molar, the attorney and dentist.
Oh, gee, I didn't actually. Yes, I did see it. Let me see if I can.
My camera's gone all.
I'm going to go and share it while you fix your camera up. Because it's definitely worth sharing that screen because it's pretty good. Let's have a look. Yes. There we go.
Molar versus Skeletor. That is real. You can buy that at Walmart right now for $99. Walmart.com.
I'm trying to get it. Oh, it's not getting big enough as I want it. But the look on his face, he's on the dentist chair, and the sheer delight of Molar is going to be.
And you can't really see it in that picture, but Skeletor's missing a tooth.
Yes. It's wonderful. It's joyful.
I almost want to drop the money to get that, but I also know Christmas is coming up, and I really need to buy my children, I don't know, something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Now, going back to Kothos and his magic diamond, which basically steals Evil-Lyn's powers. By the way, great little animation, which he's trying to.
They did have some really good animations.
Again, couldn't. And it was a great idea because it did. This is the whole plot of this episode is really dealing with Evil-Lyn and what is she without her powers? You know,
still a queen bee apparently.
Still has some anger issues. There's no doubt about it. Has some relationship issues she needs to deal with, but really not that dissimilar in some ways to her counterpart, Teela.
No, she's not. And I really like how this episode establishes Evil-Lyn's motivations for everything. And it's all in just 2 sentences. I don't have loyalty to Skeletor. I'm just using him until I can get his power for myself.
Yeah.
And I love her without her hat, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a certain elegance to her. And I know that it was a mistake that they wanted to make her hair black and there was a coloring error and they made it white. But to me, it makes her look, like I said, elegant. It makes her look stately.
It does. And you know what? Talking about scenes about being bonded and that, this is quite an important scene in that regards because she established herself. This is when they're stuck in the desert. And basically they cut, she starts the fire. Well, I'm not completely useless, am I?
Yes.
And it's where Evil-Lyn makes the comment. It's a shame that things are going to go back to the way they are because we make a good team. And Teela acknowledges that.
Yes.
Agrees with it.
In another life, really you and I could have been friends.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way to the part where we get the giant leftover dune sandworm.
Yes.
Who basically, is almost going to eat Teela, and good old Evil-Lyn throws a rock, and they work together to crush that poor living thing to oblivion.
Well,
Had to be done.
I'm a big fan of stories that send characters beyond the concepts of good and evil. That's one reason why I really liked shows like Battlestar Galactica or even Revelations, because the conflicts get so big that the characters don't care who's evil and who's good. We've got this huge problem and we've got to stop it or we're all doomed. I love stories like that. Those are so much fun.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I mean, this is a pretty powerful wizard. I mean, he literally shoots the city in air. How powerful his magic is. Yeah, just floating, just hanging out.
As I said, I'm a big fan of Kothos. They tried every once in a while to introduce a secondary villain or another villain that they could mix up every once in a while. This one's my favorite so far because he had a lot of personality. He was so full of himself, but he had the magic and the talent to back it up.
Yeah. Look how gloaty he is because of the
Look at that glorious, bloated man right there. He's just in charge. He don't care.
Yeah, that's it.
He reminds me of Hedonism Bot from Futurama. Yeah. Bring in another slave. Bring me the tiara. I want to wear it.
Yeah, but they really do double down on really driving home that messaging around Evil-Lyn and Teela working together. And they go into battle together, which is...
Yes, they do.
Pretty full on that they kind of go into battle together,
Well, they got matching suits. You'd think that they would, bond over that. Like, where do you get your clothing from? Eternia and Smith. That's where I buy my clothing from. I like your cape. Thank you. It came half off with this outfit. Oh, I was going to get it, but I thought it was a bit too much.
But they did work together really well. And I would really, I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was one of those things where I think the messaging was really important to kids this episode.
Yes.
As we'll get to show in the when we do the moral part of the show, when we talk about the morals. But can I just also mention something that Evil-Lyn does, like at some point to Kothos? Literally turns him into, well, the only thing I could describe it as was this guy from Weird Science.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Once I put him in there, did you not come up? Oh, let's get it. There he is. There's Chet. So I don't know who stole from who because it's around the same time period. But they do look similar. There's no doubt about it.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, like that's what. But is it the end? It's not the end of Kothos, is it?
No, we see him again, and it's in a revenge episode featuring Orko. And the continuity's on point because whenever we see him, he's a Chet turd. And
great.
He has to get turned back.
He has to get turned back.
I actually watched that the other night because I had old episodes on YouTube just kind of cycling through, and that one popped up, and it's like, oh, it's that guy. It's that fabulous fat fellow from that one episode.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. Recently, I've done the same thing at night. I'm watching compilations. Because YouTube has been wonderful.
Fun.
Hours and hours and hours of it. It's fantastic.
I just love the fact that whoever owns the right to He-Man does not care.
No,
they don't care. It's like, put it on YouTube, let people enjoy it. Yeah. It was a commercial to sell toys.
Do you know that's episode 59? Of The Witch and the Warrior. So that's crazy to me because by then you can kind of tell that they've got this whole system nailed.
Yeah,
the messaging, the way the plot structure is. Making sure characters have the right amount of time. I think people need to go back. If you're a studier of film, television, anything whatsoever, or stories in general, I think you need to start going back to some of this animation, especially Filmation, and seeing what they're doing and how they structure a 20-minute show, how efficient they are with their storytelling, and how their storytelling matters. That's been the big shock about Filmation shows for me. Because when I get back into it, I thought of it as a kid, but now as an adult, it's way more layered than I ever expected.
I think you said it
Right.
best earlier that the Filmation series has this bad rap of being corny and just a glorified toy commercial. But it's really more than that. You can tell that the people who made this show wanted it to be more. Now, are there bad episodes? Is there cringy writing? Absolutely. 100%.
Name a show that doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, come on. At one point, Skeletor, I'm going to make an android named Faker for no reason. Poof, here he is, available in Kmart. But,
of course.
yeah. But I mean,
Of course.
really, there are some episodes of this show that even now, 40 years later, hold up beautifully. And this is one of them. This is a really good episode.
Why I think too, because from the insidious corporate beginnings of what this is, right, and the show, what they did was make something beautiful out of it. And they really did. They were able to create something that was inherently violent and strip away the violence and still make it one of the biggest smash successes animation-wise of the whole decade.
Yes.
It became a phenomenon. This is where the beauty and the genius are. Not only were you teaching kid morals, but every kid, when you were watching it, did you ever really get annoyed that He-Man wasn't like ripping people in half? Or, you know, we never saw Battle Cat, you know, eating the dead carcass of Trapjaw. No, we're not thinking of that.
Well, no, that would ruin his teeth. There's too much metal in it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, we need to go and see the other guy, the dentist. But yeah, nevertheless, like, you know what I mean? And I'm always going to stand on this, I think, for a while now, because I think it's something today we wouldn't do. You know, it's like I said, from corporate beginnings, we get this show that really, I think, taught the kids some very no-nonsense lessons in life that sometimes are a bit lacking. And when we get to this 2002 episode, which we will shortly, it's also an example how messaging can go wrong.
Indeed.
In the wrong hands. And I feel 2002 series, we've seen a couple of examples of that. So, yeah. But overall, Witch and the Warrior, it was a great ep. I dug it.
It was. It was an excellent episode. I really enjoyed it.
It furthers my infatuation with Evil-Lyn. So that's not going anywhere. My obsession with her as a character, because I just think there's so much depth to be mine. Yeah. Hey, I read something the other day, just to change topics just a little bit. Is Kevin Smith no longer involved in the current iteration of Revelations now?
I haven't heard anything about that. I know that the next season is going to be called He-Man, or Masters of the Universe Revolutions.
Yeah.
And he's been interviewed about it. So
okay, I mean, so he must be, maybe he's ending his bit after that.
It could be. Maybe it's only intended to be like a 2-season kind of thing. I don't know. I really don't want to see him go, because he's done really well with his show.
You know why he was a perfect fit for the show? Because Kevin Smith, you can say whatever you like about his quality of film, but he knows how to write characters.
He does. He's an excellent character writer. Sometimes that's the only saving grace of some of his movies, but yeah, exactly. he does.
It's the dialogue, it's the interplay between characters, and what an asset that brought to Revelation. So let's hope he keeps it going. All right, let's move it on to the next episode. The 2002, and this is second season, I believe. Pretty well.
This is second season. Yes, this was after the. Is it second season? It may be third season. No,
maybe third season.
No, okay. It is. Hold on. I'm checking out my episode list here. This was so weird.
It says to me that
it is episode 6 of the second season.
Yes,
because they started out with 3 episodes and then they rebooted the show 3 episodes into the new season and brought in the Snake Men. And unfortunately, the quality of the show dipped.
There's a big, I've got to say, we're not bearing the lead here. This episode was a hard watch. And
it was.
The synopsis for this episode is as simple as I think this episode was. And that is Skeletor seeks to punish Evil-Lyn for betraying him.
Yes, because Evil-Lyn in the episode before assisted the Snake Men trying to overthrow Skeletor. Things went bad. Evil-Lyn ran away, and Skeletor vowed revenge, and that's where we pick up in this episode.
It is a Zodak episode, though. Zodak episode, I just noticed. The one before.
Yes, it was.
Zodak joins forces with heroic Master of the Universe to prevent the freed Snake Men from taking over Eternia.
Yes, it was.
Yes. But, okay, we're not here to talk Zodak, but we will one day.
One day.
We're here to talk about this one. And Look, I don't know where they. I mean, they start pretty well. She's obviously got a mission, a plan of attack.
Yes.
She's kicking some butt, but she's also portraying Skeletor at the same time. But
Yes. And I love I got to say, I do like the redesign of Too Bad.
yes, that's the guy in the background, correct?
Yes, the guy with two heads who are always punching each other.
Yeah. There's just one side and there's the other side, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. So I did. I absolutely look. Some of the design work in this episode this series can't be folded, Jason. Some of it's great. Some of it's questionable. I mean, if I was to let the cat out of the bag about what's questionable, it's this redesign of armor, which is
that's
horrible.
That's the reboot armor, which is just
not good, man.
It's not good. It looks like he needs to start gyrating on stage while women are throwing dollar bills at him. I'm going to be honest.
It's more of a hindrance than a help.
Any stretch. I mean, it's like, hey, this is supposed to protect you from snake venom. Really, just this one side?
Yeah.
What about this bicep?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that? Oh, look at that, a big claw. Yeah, that's going to come in handy. It's a good thing we don't have another guy on the show that has a big claw, otherwise it would get repetitive.
So basically she gets thwarted, and we get to see her magnificent hair again.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, I think the design of Evil-Lyn in this series is great. There are some beautiful designs of her. I especially like this one too. I thought she looks great in that shot.
Didn't her voice sound weird though? In that flashback, she seemed
it did.
too youthful to me.
Yeah, she did
to me did not. It was a weird choice.
Well, the problem is with the flashback, her youthfulness. She didn't look that young.
She didn't.
That was the other issue.
She didn't. Maybe if they'd made her thinner or shorter or something like that.
Give her some pigtails. I don't care. Just try to establish that she looks younger than she is. They weren't fun. Yeah. But like if I was to say describe me what the plot of The Good Guys was in this episode, what would you put it down to, Jason? Because feels like time filling to me.
Yeah, the episode is pretty much useless except for the flashbacks.
Yeah, is that the Wind Raider behind you?
That's the Wind Raider. I don't know what they call it. The Wind Raider. That's not the Wind Raider.
I know, but it still looks cool. I like the look of it. I mean,
they kept the lines of it, but I don't know. To me, you don't mess with a classic, and the Wind Raider is a classic.
Absolutely. But
The
Good Guys.
Unless it's a flashback, it's not worth watching. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Because the flashbacks are really good. They're neat. I like them.
Yeah, and especially the one I just showed then.
Oh yes,
the melting faces. Which again, I'm pretty shocked that you don't that you have that in what is potentially targeted to 8 to 10-year-olds.
Well, they got away with it because there was no blood, and it wasn't like it wasn't like you saw like meat or anything. His face was melting like it was made out of ink, which is still pretty grody and pretty graphic. But it's nightmare fuel. You're right, it is.
Well, okay. Why didn't she take her shot? This is what I can't understand. He's on his knees. His face is melting off. She has every chance to end this now, but she doesn't. Why?
Because in the 2002 reboot, she was in love with him.
There's the dum-dum. There's your issue.
Yeah, that's it. She was in love with him because you can't have a scheming woman in 2002. She's got to have a crush.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, that's inherently the problem here. You have taken a strong character, which you've established in the Filmation series, and you've just sent her back 40 years.
Yes, which,
2002 version.
I will say, in every iteration since, she's had a crush on Skeletor. There's been like some unrequited love there. But look, I'm with you. Yeah.
But I'm talking about how they depower her.
Yes.
That's the problem here. She can have a crush on him, but in my mind, and it's always been the case, she limits. I reckon she's as powerful, if not more powerful than Skeletor.
Oh, absolutely.
But for the greater purpose, she doesn't unleash because she sees it more value of him going about and doing the legwork and her coming in and taking what she needs at the end of it. So
absolutely. He's a useful idiot to her.
Yes, he's a useful idiot. I mean,
And the way it was done in Revelations, Skeletor was her useful idiot. And he ended up getting the upper hand on her, and that kind of destroyed her confidence. But then, Evil-Lyn got her groove back.
So she's been tortured throughout this at one point, right?
Yes.
Yep, she's being held up and being tortured. Gets saved, of course, because, we're going to give the star of the show something to do.
Of course. It's not Evil-Lyn and the Masters of the Universe. It's He-Man.
That's right. But this is where we get into problematic territory for me, that she immediately go back to his aid, the Skeletor, and, offer up herself as being, and I just thought the way it was done, there was no indication to me watching it that she was doing it out of, well, I've got a bigger plan.
No, it was desperation.
It was desperation, and we get that like end scene here where she's kind of telling us that, oh yeah, I'm with you, but I'm going to screw you over as soon as I can. And then Skeletor, knowing that's going to happen and still going with it.
What do you think Skeletor's toilet looks like?
I don't think it would be.
I think it looks just like this.
Yeah. What's to say we aren't? The throne room.
That could be it. Like, now everyone leave. I have to drop a.
That's where everyone gets the saying from. I'm going to the throne room. I got it from Skeletor's.
Feel the wrath of my 3-bean burrito.
A missed opportunity. The price of deceit in many ways.
I agree.
You said the flashback scenes. Have we missed any flashback scenes? Because
no, it was just the two.
Origin of her and Skeletor.
That was just the two. There should have been more.
Yeah,
it would have been it would have been a much stronger episode if it had just focused on fleshing out Evil-Lyn and just not even had the Masters in it at all. I think they should have taken a chance.
Pointless. This was their scene to try and tie it all up together, Jason. This is
how
we're getting the A and B awful to join, and it's complete waste of time and awful.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of it on the 2 episodes. Filmation wins again. If we were keeping
absolutely
here, I think Filmation is overwhelmingly getting the green ticks from us from plot and execution.
Yes, which is kind of surprising because I thought that the 2002 series was stronger, and it does have some strong episodes. I mean, its pilot episode was outstanding.
Yes,
it just seems like the rest of them were kind of a step down. And I know there are some good episodes out there. There are some real darn good episodes out there. We just haven't come across any.
We haven't come across. We happen to be, finding the raw stuff at the moment. So the stuff that could be worked on a bit better. But we're going to start a new little thing we're going to do at the end of each show now. And I thought this would be a bit of fun, Jace. We spoke about this earlier. And what we're going to do is something called the power of Jace called casting call.
Yes.
And if you haven't worked it out, Evil-Lyn is the main person we're talking about. Now, the idea of this is you and me, Jason, we're producers of the live-action Master of the Universe film.
Finally.
Our job. Finally, yeah. I'm like, why didn't they give us the money earlier?
Oh my God.
But we could
have been on our 8th sequel by now.
That's right. We've got to cast our characters, all right?
Yes,
we're going to start it off with Evil-Lyn. Now, here's the problem with Evil-Lyn. We've already had a fantastic iteration.
We had the definitive live action Evil-Lyn, and all the rest of them are just going to pale in comparison to the magnificent, the beautiful, the talented Meg Foster.
Yes.
With her supernaturally blue eyes.
She was the
stare into your soul and set it on icy fire.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
but we've got to recast
I lost track of what we were doing.
Unfortunately, Meg is unavailable for this film. So here are some of the rules, though, Jason. And I'm going to ask you this. We're kind of working this out as we're going.
You told me nothing about rules.
No. Okay. Are we able to cut if the voiceover person is strong? Are you able to use that voiceover actor and cast them as the live action version?
Why not?
Is that fair? Why
That's
not?
Fair, because I already see where you're going. So
yes, and that's my pick straight off the bat. If I was to cheat, I would say Lena Headey. Lena Headey would be my first choice.
Okay. I think not
she's
go
age appropriate.
Oh yeah. I did not go with Lena, although that is an excellent choice. I was thinking of someone who could play Evil and yet beautiful, seductive and yet strong. And it was somebody that we've actually seen a couple of years ago in a very popular television show.
Right.
I'm going with the Michelle Gomez.
Michelle Gomez.
Michelle Gomez, who played Missy in Doctor Who.
Wow, now that is an interesting choice.
Because I think she could. I saw her in a movie recently called Book of Blood, and she played the femme fatale, and then she turns around and she plays Missy, who was so much fun.
I mean, visually, how do you go wrong?
Exactly. I mean, she's basically the 21st century version of Meg Foster, and she's extremely talented actress. Extremely talented.
Nah, a fantastic choice. And he was my choice, Lena Headey, which
is also a fantastic choice.
Yeah. So we would have to take this to the studio, I would suggest, Jason.
Hold up. Click on the picture of big dude right there, the mountain.
Of the mountain.
Yeah,
no,
the mountain. No, right there. There we go. Ram Man.
Oh, yes.
It's Ram Man right there.
That is definitely Ram Man.
Yes, and most definitely.
If we were going to do a live action version of He-Man and Master of the Universe, Ram Man shouldn't be dwarf size.
No, he should be
massive.
If this guy, I know he's got a name, but I can't pronounce it. I'm not that talented. If he can't play Ram Man, we should not even bother with the character. Just CGI it like they did with Juggernaut and Deadpool.
We're telling the studio, we cast him or we ain't making the film.
Sorry. And they're like, no, we can't cast him. Okay, we'll make the film anyway, but he's got to be CGI.
So they were our choices, guys. I think that was a good start straight off the bat because I'm thinking, both excellent choices. So we got Lena Headey and Michelle Gomez. So, guys,
quite honestly, agree with I would be happy with either one.
Yeah, but what are the people out there think? Do you agree with us? Do you think our choices are good or are they awful? Do you have a better suggestion? Let us know in the comments below. Send us a message, harass us. Tell us what fools we are for picking the actors that we chose. So, that's a lot of fun.
I couldn't find Marge Simpson was not available, so.
No. Okay. If we're talking character then.
I'm sorry. There's going to be a short musical interlude because I forgot to turn my decorative clock off.
It must be to the hour. What time is it over there?
It is 8 o'clock here in Texas.
There we go.
And over in Australia, I'm assuming that it is,
it's 11:30 in the morning.
Half past Wallaby.
Yeah, past Wallaby.
Half past Wallaby with a beer.
Not quite yet, but we're getting there. We're getting close to beer o'clock.
Yeah, they always talk about it's beer o'clock somewhere. It's always beer o'clock in Australia.
Always, absolutely. That's what they put in the IVs here if you get rushed to the hospital.
It's my favorite
nice
scene
lager.
from The Simpsons is whenever they went to Australia. Could I have a water, please? Beer? No, water. Beer. Water. Beer.
It was so offensive yet so hilarious that episode.
It was. They offend everybody, and it's just be happy to be included.
Absolutely. No, back to Teela though. You brought up her figure. If we're casting her in the movie, are we changing her?
Mental note: shut the clock off in the future. Yeah, I've never filmed in here before.
It wasn't that bad. It was kind of. So, do we make Teela green in the live action movie?
No.
Does she have the headdress?
Yeah, you called her Teela again. She does have the crown. She's got to have the crown.
There's something going on here. I don't know what it is.
It's Linda Gary.
It must be. That's what it is.
Honestly,
Evil-Lyn.
Out of all of the Evil-Lyn costumes, that's the best.
Yes, that's Revelations.
Because
correct?
It was not. Yes, this was Revelations. It was not like. I'm sorry. I'm not a prude, but these were just ridiculous. Who goes into battle?
I think it was a product of its time. There's no doubt about it.
It was. This is, to me, it's appropriate. It is sinister looking, and it's just elegant. I could see Linda or Michelle in either one of these outfits, and it would just be amazing. And plus, I love the fact that they updated the headdress with a skull on it because they couldn't have done that in the 80s.
No, definitely not. But yeah, that's the unfortunate part about some of those things toys were made in the '80s. They I don't think intentionally sexualized them, but they were. Luckily they kind of fixed it. I never thought
You don't think that was
Evil-Lyn was
intentional?
like that. Yeah, that's a bit of a.
That's
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got to be, doesn't it? But I never saw her.
But of course, this was intentional as well. So
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. They never. What did I say the other day? The Masters.
This was a Randy toy line.
Yeah, yeah.
All the girls are like, I can never live up to Barbie standards, and then all of us boys are like,
dudes are like, yeah, we got that. Like, how's that possible? Yeah. All right. Well, that were the 2 episodes. Again, we checked out Evil-Lyn this week. Yeah, from the good to the bad, that was. So,
absolutely.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. But, again, we're going to keep it going with our character deep dives at the moment. We have another one next week, Jason.
Yes, we do.
Do you want to announce who that is?
We are going to be deep diving into Prince Adam / He-Man. Because if you don't know, they are the same person. Don't tell anyone.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
The episodes I have picked out, I'm going to tell you right now, the one I have picked out for Filmation is, in my opinion, the best of the series. And it is called The Problem with Power.
Right.
And it is dark. It's darker than what they're used to.
Whereabouts is that in the series? Is that early on, later on?
I think it's the second to last episode. A lot of fans, such as myself, we count it as the last episode, that it's the series finale.
Penultimate, if not finale of...
It's the finale. I say it's the finale. It's the finale. And then on the flip side, from the 2002 version, we're looking at episode 4. Episode 4 is The Courage of Adam.
Courage of Adam.
And both of these deal with the duality of Prince Adam and He-Man. How do they deal with being each other? Or how does Adam deal with being He-Man? And what is the price of that? How does it cost them both personally? And I think that if I remember right, both of the episodes are actually, I know the price of the problem with power is very strong. I remember The Courage of Adam being strong, but apparently my memory with the 2002 series is not as strong as I thought it was. But I do think that this was a pretty good episode.
Okay, well, look, I'm excited to be able to, and of course, when we're doing these character deep dives, like, in a way they are and they're not, because it's hard sometimes to go really deep into character over a couple of episodes. But I am finding so far doing this, Jason, you've been able to display some really interesting nuggets with the characters, and I think really informs the show if you're going to get into watching it, or you watched it as a kid but can't remember. So, again, who would have thought? We're in 11 episodes in, we're 12 in. I'm more excited now forever. I've started collecting the bloody toys again. That started to happen.
I'm going to start one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. You have an incredible collection behind you. But here we go. This is a show that I would have thought would have been throwaway for me. We'll do a few episodes and that's that. But I'm shocked at how much I'm enjoying this, and I'm loving it. So I want to kind of keep this going.
I'm all for it. I enjoy this as well. It's something I look forward to every week.
And in a couple of weeks, we're making a massive announcement on the next steps of the show. But we won't announce that yet, Jace. We're going to hold on to that. We've got a few more character deep dives. But we're going to be jumping into something.
Can we tell them about what's happening around December, what we're going to do?
Yes, you can announce that for sure.
Christmas special. Christmas special.
Off the mic.
Christmas special.
Does everybody remember that?
He-Man and She-Ra did a Christmas special.
Yep.
And it is, I was just saying before the show started, you can almost hear Alan Oppenheimer, the voice of Skeletor, laughing his butt off as he's recording these lines because they're so hilariously cheesy.
There you go. This is what we're headed towards, guys. And we'll do that the week leading up to Christmas because why not? And if you don't like it,
it's a crossover, which is great.
Spirit people, like
of course, we're going to wait until after after November to do this because we're not those people who like go
No,
Christmas crazy before
no.
Thanksgiving. That is not the He-Man
Did
way.
they do a Thanksgiving episode?
I have absolutely no idea.
I bet you there's one centered around the themes of Thanksgiving.
I bet there probably is things you should be thinking. At least I know that there's a food episode because they have a chef at one point. Like he was in the hey yeah.
Oh,
he was in that
yeah.
video. Yeah. So I don't know if that had anything to do with Thanksgiving. Are we going to do the moral?
Of course. What are we doing? We didn't watch the moral clips.
Yes.
And here we go. That's almost a whole segment we missed out. Thanks for the save there, Jason.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Here we go. Now the moral. We're going to play them back to back. All right. First,
all right.
We'll play the Filmation moral, and then straight after, we're going to play the 2002 one. So let's check out the moral of each of these stories that we talked about today.
I've been in a number of difficult situations, but none of them were tougher than trying to get along with Evil-Lyn. And yet, I found that if you make the best of a bad situation, you can come out a winner. So when things go wrong, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, try to work it out with a smile. You might surprise yourself when you see how well it works. Until next time.
It's important to forgive. It shows that you care enough about someone to give them a second chance. Try to practice forgiveness the next time someone disappoints you or hurts your feelings. Forgive them, and chances are you'll both feel a lot better. Until next time.
Do you think He-Man forgave his costume designer?
I don't know, but is He-Man inferring that Evil-Lyn needs to forgive Skeletor for trying to kill him and just to get on with it?
Is he inferring that Evil-Lyn is forgiving Skeletor for trying to kill her?
Yeah. It's
like
problematic
you said,
all the way.
Super problematic. Super problematic.
Now, you're kind of dealing with the same thing, aren't you? But two different ways. The Filmation one was like, look, you're going to come across some people, some situations that's going to suck. All right, that's the reality. But hey, hold your chin up high, work through it. Try to be respectful and nice about it. And you never know what the outcome will be. Good message. Wholesome. It's warning kids that life isn't perfect. One of the biggest problems we have with youth today is a lack of resilience.
Yeah.
Here's a messaging
kids today are soft.
That's right. Talking about, building a little bit of resilience.
Daddy, these two aging Gen Xers said that we're soft.
Yeah, that's it. We're both about to be canceled.
What are you doing off your iPad? Get back in your room.
I've lost my job. My business is gone. Everything. My wife just left me. Just like that. No. And I did like that messaging. But the second one is like, I am confused which perspective he is talking from.
I don't think that it was even linked thematically to the story. I think that they just had these stock morals and was like, I use that one.
Because when you attach that moral to that story, yeah, it was like, what are they trying to say here? I don't think I like it.
I don't either. It's very...
That's an example. I kind of mentioned earlier in the show, Jason. This is
not good.
Where Filmation really had that. One of the great things I love about the show is they really took these, I think, very generally, universally agreed upon morals and standards and applied them through the show.
Yeah.
And this is where you've given another studio a shot with this. And they're just trying to replicate the concept because they think the concept is more important than the
nostalgia bait. That's all the
nostalgia bait.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Look, how dangerous can that be? Because if you're not sending the right messages through, you're really doing a massive detriment to your audience and to the show.
There was, I don't want to say that the people who did the 2002 version didn't care because they obviously cared, but I don't think that they fully understood at times.
I know sometimes the whole idea is if you're going to remake, reboot something, do fresh stories, fresh ideas, all that. For me, my instruction as a showrunner would have been said, we're going to grab every moral that they've ever done. We're going to stick to the same morals, but we'll just reword it so it fits the story that we've done. So really, you could have just furbished that with a couple of different words, the original one, and applied that to the 2002 one.
Yeah, you could have.
it would have listed out. There would have been a whiteboard somewhere where I've got listed every mole and the meaning, and then just taking the right one and rewording it correctly. I don't think there would have been anything wrong with that. If I remember Revelations, just because of the structure, we didn't really have that. I wish they did have that, though.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been.
In today's episode, He-Man freaking stabbed Skeletor through the midsection with his sword.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't do that. Especially whenever you kill all the magic in Eternia.
Remember, when borrowing
really
knives,
thought that through.
ask Mum's permission first.
And then he freaking died.
Okay, I get what you're saying. But I still would have liked them.
Oh, it would have been awesome.
Tomorrow. We'll end it on that, guys. Thanks for watching this little ragtag show about He-Man and the Master Universe. I can tell you what, guys, there may be better shows out there, but I'm telling you, us two, we're obsessed with this. We're in love with this. And we come back with just this open arms of wanting to hug everything in this universe and get, and discuss it all. I'm kind of losing my train of thought, so we'll just end the show and before I meander on. And yes, is that your favorite there, Jace? That is a 3¼ inch, I think, version. Is it?
This is
no, that's your big one. Sorry, just the way your giant Bigfoot hands made it look very tiny. So.
The thing I've noticed about the two Evil-Lyn figures they did for Origins is that one of them has kneecaps and the other one doesn't. Is that not weird?
That is weird. Is that the jaundice thing going on?
Yeah, the jaundice Evil-Lyn has no kneecaps, and supposedly the 2002 version has kneecaps, even though this is not the 2002 version. This is just this figure with normal skin tone.
Yeah, with the
Marge, not Marge.
Yeah. Marge and Lois. You can go Family Guy Lois. And
Marge, Lois.
Wow, that's it. Oh, good fun as normal. Thanks, Jason. Next week, it's a He-Man show. It's a Prince Adam show.
Absolutely.
I'm pumping excited. It'll be a big one to do. So, guys, thanks for watching. You can find us on our socials. I'm at VHS_Jason TikTok. Jason is at
Jason Roy Gaston on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter for now.
Fantastic.
Until Elon Musk ruins it all because he's a moron.
We'll see what happens. I think you've just been banned right now as you said that.
Because it's free speech. It's free speech for $8 a month.
All right, Jason, sign us off, mate. We'll catch all you guys next week.
You have been watching The Power of J-Skull.